Hello, it's Domain Dave again from Cheapwinefinder.com with another wine, because that's what we do all the time, and this one is a perennial favorite for Cheap Wine Finder. Let me grab the bottle. It's a nice looking bottle. It's the Evodia Garnacha 2018. This is one of those wines that have been getting 90 points for at least a decade. This is the 18 vintage. The 2019 vintage got 93 points from a wine reviewer, and it cost around $10. It's been between $8 and $12 for a long time, and I think I've found it for 10 or 11. And there's like a cheap wine finder tip is if you want the best cheap wine, learn to like Garnacha. I mean, it's from the Catalude region in northeast Spain. In the mountains up, it's 40 to 100 year old vines. It's not a fancy area. There's not chateaus and fabulous wine estates there. It's kind of modest. But here's another wine tip. Follow the importer. Now, this is from Eric Solomon Selections, European Cellars. He's one of the biggest importers. And if you find a wine you like, next time you go to your favorite wine shop, say, hey, I like that so-and-so by this people. And this is Eric Solomon, but there's Jorge Adonez, there's Broadbent, there's Wilson Daniels. There's a bunch of really good ones. And the one thing about the biggest name importers, they actually really know who their clientele is, and they know what they're looking for, so they kind of target their wines. And another good thing is that you can find their wines. Sometimes somebody tells you about some import wine, and once you go to 5 different shops to track it down, it doesn't taste so good anymore. It better be great, and it usually doesn't do that for you. So follow the importer. Another thing, Eric Solomon, I know, I'm not, don't know about the other ones. They bring in their winemaking team, which is world class, to come into these kind of maybe modest areas and make the wine. Even how they're go in the vineyard and do what they do in the vineyard and have the winemaking team make the wine. And good winemakers make good wine. Doesn't matter. People say, this is from the best parts of the vineyard. I think I talked about this last time. But where's the worst part? There isn't a worst part. If they put the vineyard on good land and the vineyard operator knows how to do it, you're going to make good wine. I'm going to take a sip. This is an intense, juicy, dark, deep wine. Sleek, dark, and spicy with depth. You don't get that for $10. In the review, it's this is a wine that we used to say sells for 10, tastes like 20. And the reason why is because it is. If they could get you to pay $25, $30 for Garnacha out of Spain, this region, they charge it for that because that's why. I mean, it might be less expensive to get the grapes. It might be less expensive for labor there and what have you. But it's supply and demand that causes the price to go up or down. Bordeaux's got a great reputation, so they can ask a lot of money. Burgundy's got a great reputation. They ask a lot of money. Napa Valley's got a great reputation. They ask for a lot of money. Lodi is getting a reputation, but they're more affordable because you don't get the same people who want the Napa wines from Lodi. I mean, it's all supply and demand. So this is actually an expensive wine because the cheap wine tip is like Garnacha. This is a I don't want to misspeak, but kind of a higher quality wine than a normal wine would be. I mean, even if you get like a really good $10, $12 Cabernet Sauvignon or a really enjoyable Pinot Noir, those wines are kind of copies of more expensive wine. If it's a cab, it's going to be a kind of modeled on Napa, or it's going to be modeled on, Bordeaux, or so it's going to be a reasonable facsimile, and it could be excellent and fun to drink and a great wine. But these Garnaches are what they are. I mean, there is no facsimile. This is it. And there's lots to like here. They're deep, intense wines. And a deep, intense wine, I mean, that is inexpensive. You know, it gets 90 points routinely, and I don't pay that much attention to wine reviewers' 90 points, because wine reviewers are kind of like race car drivers. You know, like what race car drivers look for in a car is not what you and I look for in a car to go back and forth to a store, go shopping, or an occasional trip. But if a race car driver says that car is a good car, it's going to be a good car. And even though a wine reviewer is not going to probably have the same opinions or needs that we have, they say it's a good wine, it's going to be a good wine. So there you go. This is a good wine. Evodia 2018 from Spain. This is Domain Dave from Cheapwinefinder.com. Like us wherever you like podcasts. Check out the website because we have a ton of reviews on there. And I'll be talking to everybody. Adios. Keep it cheap. Over and out. Bye-bye.